All right. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave. Yeah. So my phone is on. This is connected to the hotspot.
Now you can hear me, right, Ash? For some reason, the iPad was muted.
Keep talking to me. Let me know what the thing is.
You can hear me. Yes, perfect. I know you are. You're so perfect in everybody's world. Welcome to the 6 o'clock game of day number 2 here with the Junior Women's Hockey League. And we are switching venues. This is Jason Hetland. I am now over at Ritter Arena, home of the Women's Golden Gopher hockey team. And the matchup tonight, Northwood School out of Lake Placid, New York, and Shattuck St. Mary's. It's the prep team for Shattuck St. Mary's. A little scheduling snafu. They also have the Shattuck St. Mary's U19 team, and I'm not sure, I can't remember who they're playing over at Mariucci. But with split causes and schedule changes, we do not have a play-by-play over there, so Eric Bohl is running the camera. So at least you can watch the action from Mariucci while you get to hear me talk for the next 2 hours as we hang out together here at Ritter Arena. So we are double dipping. You have 2 feeds, so make sure you're on the right one. If you're watching Shattuck St. Mary's, make sure you want the prep team. That's over here with me at Ritter, and the U19 team is over at Mariucci. We're just about ready to get going. Northwood School versus Shattuck St. Mary's prep from Faribault, Minnesota, right down the road, just about a half hour from here. Here we go, opening faceoff, won by Northwood School. Down through center ice, picked up by Shattuck St. Mary, taken away by Northwood, dumped in along the far boards. And Shattuck St. Mary, number 7, Ellie Stewart, brings it up, dishes it off to number 11, Jillian Klein, over along the far wall, back behind the goal, and on the near corner boards, dumped back in and taken away from Northwood, number 16, which I do not have on the roster, so I apologize for that. Far boards, Northwood with control of the puck in their own zone, coming up through neutral ice. The fight for the puck along the boards and dumped in by number 8, Summer McLean. And now picked up once again, Shattuck St. Mary along the near boards and back behind their own goal. Chased over on the far wall. Flipped up into neutral ice, chased down by number 10, Jane Daly, but not able to get there before Northwood does. Northwood, number 9, Cora Major, bringing it into the zone, dumping it off. And Shattuck St. Mary, a feeding pass to number 10, Jane Daly. Daly tries it, and a nice save from Northwood with a rebound and another nice save. Now picked up by number 13, Sid Boscaron, and dumped down in. And goalie's going to play it, so no icing up through neutral ice. Dumped in, giving chase, number 14, Alexa Georgentis. And picking up along the far corner board, back behind their own goal is Northwood. Northwood bringing it back up through a feeding pass intended for number 11. Emma Higgins falls off of her stick and is dumped down into the Northwood zone one more time. And it's going to be the first icing. And the icing brings back the puck into the Northwood zone for a SSM, or Shattuck St. Mary's prep offensive zone faceoff. Here we go. Puck won by Shattuck. And back down behind the net. And over along the far boards up to the point. Down feed, and 13, Sid Boscaron taking a shot. It goes wide to the stick side. Picked up again by Alexa Georgentis. Back behind the net. Shift change for SSM. And zone is cleared. Everybody's checked up and everybody's on side. So in the fight for the puck down in the offensive zone for SSM once again. Doing everything they can. It should be a pretty good matchup here. for these two teams. Now, it showed 20 on the clock, but these exhibition games are typically 18-minute times. It's a stop from Northwood. Goalie trying to get her number. I believe that's 34. I believe that's Oceane Therafault Michelle. She played in goal earlier today, too, so she's getting a full day's workout between the pipes for Northwood School. Northwood taking it back down, a shot, and a chest pad save by number 30, Rowan Howling of Shattuck St. Mary. And back down in the Northwood zone. Now, if you look at this, I think this is a little bit smaller of a rink, and the seating capacity is not quite what Mariucci is. Mariucci holds about 10,000 fans. This is just over 3,500. So it's a smaller, more intimate venue, but it's always a fun one when you can play both here at the U of M. One of the girls that's actually on Shattuck's team, prep team, as icing is called, so puck's going to come back down in the SSM zone. One of the girls on the prep team, let's see if I can find her. University of Minnesota defenseman Sloan Hartmetz, number 8. This is going to be her home ice next year. She's going to be a Lady Golden Gopher for hockey. So she's feeling right at home when she takes the ice for Shattuck's. Into the zone, number 96, Penelope St. Pierre. She's had a great weekend in Minnesota so far. Make a presence and her name known. A shot, number 8, Summer McLean off the chest protector of the SSM goalie. SSM trying to clear the zone, which they are able to do out to neutral ice and turn right back around by number 37, Sarah Martin, and dumps it in for a shift change. Dangerous. Oh, that was just about there. Number 11, Emma Hagen, just off the mark to the glove side of a pretty much open net. But now, Shattuck St. Mary working the zone on the other side and cleared once again by Northwood. And a shot is going to be played by the goalie, so icing is waved off. Northwood coming in with the hammer and some great forechecking early on in this matchup. Neutral zone fight for the puck, dumped in by Shattuck number 6, Kylie Amakovic. Amakovic having a good weekend as well. And dumped in, everything's good. Dumped in past the red line, so no icing is called. And up through the neutral zone, dumped back in by number 22, Kate Hall. And I believe it's Kate Watson. It's not Kate Hall anymore. We were told that the other night, and it doesn't look like the roster got changed. So it is Kate Watson, number 22, a Cornell University commit. Everybody going down left and right, losing the skates. And now sitting on the puck. Puck trying to get fished out from underneath of her legs, which it does. And Northwood School up through neutral ice, and a speeding ticket is given. A citation is issued for offsides. It'll come out of the zone on the other side of the blue line in the neutral zone faceoff. Draw won by Northwood School and dumped in. Puck being played by the goalie behind her own net. And number 13, Sid Boss Crone with the puck up through neutral ice. Trying to leave it for Boss Crone one more time. What's she able to get? Deep down into the zone. Near corner boards. Fight for the puck. Northwood comes away with it. And up and down and on goal. So no icing. And it will be considered a shot on goal for Northwood School. Later on tonight at 8 o'clock, right here over at Ritter again, we have the Minnesota Ice Cougars out of Roseville, Minnesota, as well as Team Illinois in a non-JWHL matchup. Both teams invitees here this weekend, and that's going to round out our Day 2 coverage. And we have one final game, 7:45 Central Time tomorrow morning to round out before we get everybody on planes and home before the storms of the big Northeast happen. Washington Pride actually had to move up the schedule and everything, and they were on a bus to the airport at 4 a.m. this morning from the hotel as their flight got canceled, so the game schedules had to move on. It looks like possibly a puck went out of play. I wasn't paying attention as I was talking to everybody. Face off, center ice. And Shattuck St. Mary is going to maintain the puck up through neutral ice and dump deep down into Northwood School zone. Far boards. Swatted around the neutral ice, and they say offsides is the call. Once again, offensive zone will be moved away on the other side of the blue line for a neutral zone faceoff. And puck sent all the way down into the Northwood School zone. Northwood takes it up out of the zone through neutral ice, taken away by Shattuck, and once again taken away from Shattuck is Northwood. Pretty even matchup here early on in the first period between these two teams. And puck dribbles through neutral ice, picked up by Shattuck St. Mary, number 22, Kate Watson. Kate Watson up to number 15, Mary Derenbacher, University of Wisconsin commit. And all right, coincidental minor penalties. Penalty on Shattuck St. Mary, high sticking, and on Northwood, rough. Coincidental minor penalties. Play will continue 5-on-5. So penalty box is real clear. First whistle after 8:51 on the clock. Nothing goes on the clock for coincidental minor penalties. And 5-on-5 play continues. Face-off moved out of the offensive zone into neutral ice. And all the way down, and icing is waved off. I did not see anybody touch it, but that's why I'm up here in the press box and not down on the ice in the zebra stripes. So I don't want to make those calls. Looks like we're up through neutral ice as we maintain 5-on-5, 10:25 remaining in the first period of play. Tapped into the offensive zone for Northwood School, and out through neutral ice comes Shattuck St. Mary, number 10, Jane Daly. Daly swipes it in and right back out of the zone along the far boards. And brought back in. And, nice shot by Sid Boss-Crone, but a beautiful save from Northwood's goalie. Northwood now coming through the zone, number 32, Lily Pratt. Pratt with the puck along the far board, gets knocked down. And the puck is through neutral ice. And they are offside, so Shattuck has to check up, which they do not. So it is going to be offsides. Pretty even matchup on the face-off there. And whoever was able to get to the puck first. And it looks like it is controlled finally by Northwood School. Shattuck St. Mary's has 17 commitments to colleges on their team. In Northwood School, 10 commitments. So a pretty heavy hitting matchup here between two great hockey clubs, one out of Lake Placid, New York, and one hometown team here out of Faribault, Minnesota, right down the road. Northwood taking it up out of their own zone through neutral ice. Picked up by Shattuck's number 4, and the cycle, and it's a goal! Shattuck St. Mary's on the upper deck above the glove side. My goodness, what a shot for Shattuck St. Mary. Let's see the jersey number. Who's going to get the goal score? That is going to be number 6. That is Kylie Emilkovich. She is a Penn State commitment, so she'll be going to Penn State University. Speaking of Penn State, look at the jerseys and the outfits for Northwood School. Kind of reminds me of an old school Penn State, the blue and white. Shattuck's up 1-0. 8 minutes left in the first period of play. And it's a shot on net by Cadence Wright. Steered away, cleared. Ooh, a hard hit from Northwood School, and it's going to be a penalty. I'm glad to see her up underneath of her own power. I believe that's going to be a roughing penalty. I'm waiting for the referee call, and they're going to discuss it, whether it's going to be boarding or whether it's going to be a roughing, I believe. Cross-checking, okay. 2 minutes for cross-checking, so it's going to put Prep on the power play for the next 2 minutes. Penalty called on number 20 of Northwood. Lorelai LaChapielle is the guilty party. No ice due to a penalty kill. One thing nice about this arena is it's got the center scoreboard above center ice, so it gives us all of the information that we need. With play their game against St. Cloud State Huskies with a win. It was a packed house here, so and she's going to come and grab it. I'm sorry, that's 27. That's Cadence Wright. And up and out of play. Face-off happening in the offensive zone. Near boards. Face-off won by Shattuck. A shot deflected wide. I apologize if I sound like Screech on Saved by the Bell sometimes. My voice is a little shot from about 3 days of doing this for JWHL and 5 days outside in sub-zero degree temperatures working Hockey Day Minnesota in Hastings. So I'm a little bit scratchy, so if I'm not talking the whole game, please bear with me. I'm trying to do what I can for you and still get you the information. While taking plenty of drinks of water throughout the festivities. Under 6 minutes remain in the first period of play. Much the same as all these other games, the whistle goes. It looks like it is going to be a stoppage in play for a frozen puck in Minnesota. Huge thank you to the Graduate Hotel for housing all of our hockey teams to our frozen vehicles, and hope they start on a nice balmy Minnesota night. According to my weather app, current temp is better than it did yesterday. A lot of neutral play with the puck on the ice surface. Dumped into the Northwood School offensive zone and shot right back out once again. And boy, that was close. They are calling the offsides mighty tight here tonight. I thought that was... It looks like the connection is a little bit spotty here. We keep getting notifications that our connection times out and comes back, so bear with us. I thought it was going to be called on Prep, but no. Penalty is going to go to Northwood School as they touch the puck. Play stops, 2:51 remaining. It's going to be a slashing call on Northwood. Northwood number 18, Autumn Kelly, is the culprit. They're going to go a man down for the next 2 minutes unless Prep can score here within the 2-minute time frame. Slashing is what was called. And they are able to clear the zone, but Prep is right there to come right back in. They're lucky they were onside on that one. That was about as close as the other one. It was called offsides. And Prep chases down the puck, brings it back behind their own net, trying to get regroup and reset. And up through neutral ice and into the zone on the far boards. And shot right back out. Nice save to keep it in the zone at the blue line for Prep. I'm trying to see what jersey number that is. It's all knotted up on the back there. I believe it's 23. Lily Brodsky on a point. Doing a nice job maintaining the zone. That hit iron, and the rebound and redirect puts Shattuck St. Mary Prep up 2-0. Scoring the goal on the power play, number 13, Sid Boss Crone, having a great game so far. We haven't got to say her name much over the weekend, but she's making up for it on this game right here on Saturday night. She's a 2028 grad, so she's got a couple years. Face-off won by Prep, and both teams back to full strength after the power play goal. Quick 2-0 lead in the first period for Shattuck. And the puck is headhunting for some of the Zebras down on the ice. Luckily it missed them along the far boards. Shattuck back into the offensive zone one more time. Puck picked up by number 3, Emma Cerruti. And playing with the puck. Puck stolen and picked up through neutral ice. Number 20, Loelila Chepiel after the chase. And puck once again in the offensive zone for Northwood, but cleared out through neutral ice with 45 seconds remaining in the first period of play. Number 96, Penelope St. Pierre, had the puck, gave it up, shot down deep, and it looks like forward changes happening for Northwood as they head to the bench. Fresh legs on the ice. Nice passes, nice defensive plays for Shattuck St. Mary's. And up through neutral ice and clearing the zone. Picked up number 18, Kendall Dorian. And a shot and save from Northwood School goalie. 10.8 seconds remaining in the first period of play. Decent little crowd here tonight, probably the biggest crowd that we've had over the weekend, but what happens when you get a local team. If you were watching the YouTube feeds, and a save as time expired. If you were watching the YouTube feeds earlier and you saw Team Illinois. You saw that player go down and screaming on the ice in pain. I was able to catch up with her in the lobby as she was on her way to the ER. They said they don't think that it is a broken arm or anything like that, but they were just going to go safe and go get it checked out at the ER. So that's good news that she was in very good spirits. Apologize about the camera. Our tripod is falling apart here, so we're doing the best that we can. But we're going to go radio silence, give myself some time to take a drink of water, and we'll be back with you in just about a minute for period number 2. All right, second period just about to resume here. Face off, won by Northwood. And trying to bring it into the offensive zone is Shattuck St. Mary. The proverbial blue and red line curse and speeding bumps that pop up out of nowhere. Kind of like those shopping cart stops at Target, you know, the big cones and the big pillars that knock people down when they don't pay attention. Well, that's what's happening on the ice. And a shot defensively saved by Shattuck. Oh, nice shot by Penelope St. Pierre is directed just over the top, and it's going to be a cross-check penalty called down on the ice surface. Penalty is going to go against Shattuck St. Mary's number 8, Sloan Hartmetz. That's the gal we talked about earlier. This is her home ice starting next year as she's going to become a Lady Golden Gopher. This will be her home arena. So she's going to go see how the penalty box feels in her home ice. Get acquainted with the scoreboard operator so they can become best friends over the next 2 minutes. And dumped in and up and over. Northwood having a hard time getting any meaningful offensive prowess so far. Another nice defensive tip. Nothing has reached the net for Northwood as of yet. Prep up 2-0. But right now they're down another man for another minute 13. Back into the Northwood zone once again. Giving chase and causing havoc is Shattuck St. Mary team. Giving Northwood all that they can handle on a power play as they are killing. Oh, that hits iron. That's about the closest shot we've had. Lorelei LaChapielle hitting iron. But a great penalty kill so far. Sorry about that, folks. Fielding calls from home headquarters. We're dealing with issues on the other rink. We got that all squared away, so we're back with you once again. And a cycle. It looks like both teams are back to full strength. A good penalty kill for Shaddix. And circling the wagon is Shaddix in their offensive zone, trying to sneak one in the side pipe, but picked up safely by Northwood School. Back behind the net, trying to clear the zone, unable to do so. Northwood keeping the puck into the zone. And defensive block, not able to make it to the goalie. Along the far boards and out back to neutral ice, gives everybody a little bit of a breather for Shaddix as it's dumped directly back in one more time. And if you're seeing a scoreboard, don't be alarmed. The shots on goals are not 43-20. That was the shots on goal for the Gopher game. They just did not clear those shots on goal. It took me a minute. I looked up and I was like, oh boy, something's wrong. And it looks like icing is going to be called. And the puck brought back down into the offensive zone for Northwood, into the Shattuck St. Mary's zone for the faceoff. We did get word that the Washington Pride was able to make it back home safe and sound, as they boarded a bus early this morning at 4 a.m. to try to get on a plane, as their plane got canceled. So that's why we had to move a bunch of games around. Icing waved off. And let's see, through neutral ice, picked up, no harm, no foul, nobody going to the penalty box. So it was either a high sticking or boards. Trying to clear, which they are finally able to do. Number 13, Kenna Gillis, bringing it out. Another whistle. Oh, one of the referees down and out and hurting. So we're going to put the camera right on the M on center ice and let the trainers and the medical staff tend to the referee. We're going to go radio silence out of respect. Looks like they caught a puck right to the throat from the looks of it. So we're going to let them get treated, and we're going to see what we can do, and we'll come back with more action once the ice surface is all taken care of. Well, friends, good news. The referee able to get over to the box area to take a little bit of a breather. I'm not sure if we're going to get another ref or if we're just going to go one person, but they're going to have her looked at a little bit more closely. It looks like they're talking whether they're going to need to get another ref out here or if she's just going to need a few minutes. She is talking, so that's good news. That does hurt. Ouch. All right. She's going to take a little bit breather, so we're going to be one ref on the ice surface for now. And back to the action we go. 13:30 remaining in period number 2. And Northwood number 13 taking a shot. Kenna Gillis shoots it wide to the blocker's glove side of the goalie. And puck tied up along the far corner boards. Call brings the puck back down into the Shattuck St. Mary zone one more time for the next faceoff. And unable to clear the zone, and it's going to be a penalty called on Shattuck St. Mary for body checking. Number 8, Sloan Hartmetz, her second of the night. She's going to be looking at the box one more time at her home rink. A University of Minnesota commit. Body checking is the call. St. Pierre taking the face-off for Northwood and winning the face-off. But puck all the way down, burning off all the way down, burning off some of that penalty time. Some of that penalty time on a penalty kill. On a penalty kill. Northwood into the offensive zone. Northwood into the offensive zone. Nice pass to number 15, Tessa Barton in the power play. In the power play for Northwood. And a shorthanded opportunity. Oh, a nice defensive play for Northwood to save that. And that's going to about do it for save that. And that's going to about do it for the penalty. It looks like the injured referee is just about ready to put her helmet back on. Like the injured referee is just about ready to put her helmet back on with a laugh and a smile and to come back out on the ice. That is wonderful to see. Maintaining the zone is Shattuck St. Mary's. And maintaining the zone is Shattuck St. Mary's. And it's a shot on shot. Goes up and wide from number 5, Anna Manette. Unable to put it on ice. And speaking of ice, icing. Another icing call back down. Shattuck St. Mary's in the, what do you want to call it? Dark maroon. What do you want to call it? Dark maroon and black jerseys. Northwood in the white and navy blue. Over halfway through the second period of play. Neutral ice and turn around and deep down into the Northwood zone. And Northwood able to clear the zone barely. And SSM must check up, which they do. Everybody's on sides and shot right back out one more time. Back down to their own zone. They must retreat and pick up the puck. Try to get out of their zone. Forechecking on point from Northwood. And unable to clear the zone. Northwood maintains control. Now, SSM is able to clear the zone and come in with a whole head of steam. Shoots just glove side wide. No shot on goal along the far boards. A lot of things happening in Minneapolis here today with all the civil unrest, but we can rest assured that all the teams, players, coaches, and fans are all safe. And things proceed as normal here with the JWHL. Wide shot to the stick side. And producing a shot on goal is Northwood, but easily steered clear with a stick save. Now Northwood trying to get it out of the zone, which they did momentarily. So SSM needs to check up. A long shot on goal, and the puck is smothered up. So it will be a face-off zone in the SSM zone. Two to nothing. Prep over Northwood right now. 7:10 remaining in the second period of play. And a defensive save. Face-off happening in the Northwood zone. And almost a trip there, but able to maintain her feet so it didn't get called. Shot deep down into the zone. Along the far boards and hit the ref. Ice, ice, baby, as Vanilla Ice would say. Icing is the call. Puck brought all the way back down into the Shattuck St. Mary zone. Far face-off circle. And won by Northwood. Shot wide to the net. And puck maintained control by Shattuck St. Mary, being heckled by a few of the players, and a shot on goal, so no icing, and the puck smothered up. So the face-off will be in the near face-off circle in the Northwood end of the ice. Good to see that ref back out on ice again. No worse for the wear, it looks like. And up through neutral ice. Picked up once again, Shattuck St. Mary. 14, Alexa Georgentis trying to fight her way to get a shot on goal, but the defenseman doing a nice job for Northwood. Up through neutral ice once again. Fight for the puck. Northwood takes the puck into their offensive zone. Back up to the point. Number 2, Reese Combe with a shot. She's a Stonehill commit. And back through neutral ice again. Picked up by Shattuck. SSM shoots it down low. Unable to clear. Not quite sure with the communication there. And what is was it offsides is what they call them? That's what it looks like. They're pointing to have the face-off outside of the zone, and that typically means an offsides was the call. 5:16 remaining. Prep over Northwood 2-0 in the second period of play. And SSM down through center ice, dumping it deep down in the zone. And unable to clear is Northwood. SSM maintains his own. 2 shots on goal, 3 great saves. A lot of traffic around there, and Northwood making sure that their goalie is safe and secure. So the face-off happening on the far side of the face-off circle, on the stick side of the ice. Face-off won by St. Mary's. Back down behind the net, along the far boards, up to the point on the blue line. Cross ice pass back to number 23, and feeding wanted to go to 15, Mary Derenbacher, but broken up nicely defensively from Northwood. Northwood gains the offensive zone, a shot on goal, steered clear quite easily. And now SSM dumps it in for a wholesale line change. 5 pairs of fresh legs on the ice for Shaddix. Trying to clear their zone up through neutral ice, which they do momentarily. Back to pick it up once again is Tess Martin. Tess up through neutral ice and tipped forward. They're still going to call icing on that, huh? All right. Icing is the call. Brought back down to the Northwood offensive zone for a face-off. 3:38 remaining in the second period of play. Right after this period, we'll go ahead and take a pause, let the Zamboni do its work, get a fresh layer of water down on the rink, resurface. We'll come back with you with period number 3 before our final game of the night, Minnesota Ice Cougars and Team Illinois. In our 8 o'clock Central Time Zone. Game time. Right back here with you bright and early for 7:45 a.m. game puck drop. Tomorrow morning, Central Time. And a stoppage of play as the puck is covered up. Tomorrow morning, you'll have me on the camera and a special guest on play-by-play action from the Minnesota Wild and the Minnesota Vikings. Rebecca Main is going to be joining us. I had the honor of working with her during Hockey Day Minnesota the last 5 days before we came over to the U, and she offered to come and help us out on Sunday as we were down a play-by-play operator, so we're excited to have her. Eric Bold working the camera for you over at Mariucci. David Smith working the camera over here with me, and of course myself on the call for these next 2 games. Trying to dish the puck out along the far boards, which they do. And Shaddix able to clear the zone up through neutral ice. Shot right back down through neutral. From Northwood, a fight for the puck. Penelope St. Pierre looked like she might have tweaked her knee on that encounter, so she's going to head to the bench. Oh, that was close to being a goal for Northwood. Nice defensive play. Through neutral ice and dumped in. So line changes can be made for Shattuck St. Mary. And all the way up through stick down goal. We're going to see if we have any penalties on that. It doesn't look like any harm, any foul. No minor penalties, so I apologize about that. 118 remaining, which means they'll have a 42-second. Number 15, Mary Derenbacher, University of Wisconsin Badger commit. Doing a nice job. That puts the Prep up 3-0. As the seconds click down. And finally, Northwood gets the advantage into the offensive. There it is. 16 seconds is up 4-0. In 16 seconds, that's 2 goals in just over 30. It's going to be Northwood trying to save things from going to run time. But right now, it's 4-0. Shattuck St. Mary Prep over Northwood. At the end of period number 2, we're going to take a moment, let the Zamboni come out, refresh. We're going to take a break off the air and come back with you for period number 3 in just a few moments from now. Ice is
Ice
housed
is
out.
working over there, yeah.
They have their immigration court and the jail and everything. So. Welcome back. Period number 3. All right. Well, we're having some connectivity issues, so bear with us. Once again, we talked about it. A hard arena to get things walking and rolling correctly, so we go in and out here at Ritter. But I'm looking at the camera right now, and things are looking like everything is A-OK. So Shattuck back in their own zone. 41 seconds remaining on the power play. And defensive block once again. Walking right in was number 21, Bria Schilling. Shoots it off a defenseman. And once again, a defensive block for Sid Boss-Crone, and able to get it to the net. As soon as the whistle blows, the Quincy minor penalties are done. And St. Pierre's penalty is going to be done before that. So she's been in only 2 minutes, but the other two still have to wait. That's got to be frustrating for those two in the penalty box. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Northwood into the offensive zone. Trying to make anything happen offensively. Having a hard time getting much offense going so far here tonight. And it's going to be icing. The whistle blows and the benches, and not the bench is clear, but the penalty box is clear. If the bench is clear, that probably wouldn't have been a good thing. 16:50 remaining. SSM Prep 4-0 over Northwood. And the face-off brought all the way back down into the Prep zone. Won by Shattuck St. Mary. Up through neutral ice and dumped in by Taylor Field. Uncommitted player on Shattuck. A shot, save. Circled behind the net. And brought back out through neutral ice. And picked up once again from Prep. All the way up. And tagged up. So no icing is called. And icing is going to be here. And the puck is going to be brought back down into the Northwood School zone for the faceoff. One final game here tonight and one final game for the weekend tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7:45 a.m. local time. We'll be back with you again tomorrow morning to round out the 2026 stop here in Minneapolis for the Junior Women's Hockey League. Northwood School into the zone, and once again not able to get much going offensively. The flutter pass up to number 15, Mary Derenbacher, and it's a score. Number 11, Jillian Klein, I believe. Yes, Jillian Klein is going to take the skate in front of the bench for high fives. 5-0 Prep, courtesy of Klein. And face-off once again from Shattuck St. Mary's. Up through neutral zone, and it's going to be icing. Nobody was able to touch the puck. So the face-off will come back down into the SSM zone. Far face-off circle on the stick side of the goalie. Face-off won by Northwood School. Northwood trying to do anything that they can to get the puck to the net. Be interesting to see what the shots on goal are for the game. Unfortunately, they're not up on the board. You can check the game sheets off of the JWHL website if you are wondering yourself. And Shattuck's able to clear the zone through neutral ice. Fancy stick handling right there. And it's going to be Kylie Emikovich from Jane Daly for the 6th score of the game, which is going to turn into run time. Has a 6-goal lead. Is a run time opportunity for the remainder of the game, or if the goal lead is under 6. Complete domination with Shattuck St. Mary's, the local team from Faribault, Minnesota, but just about 30 to 45 minutes down at 35. Just before Owatonna, about 45 minutes before the state line of Iowa. Shattuck's back down deep once again. Score 6-0. Prep over Northwood. And a shot on goal one more time, smothered up. Face-off will ensue once again in the Northwood zone on a near face-off circle. And puck brought down behind the goal and out along the far boards. And tipped in, no icing. All right, just an update from Master Control in Boston area. The one game that we had on tap for tomorrow has been officially canceled, so we will not have any games. The last game here at 8 o'clock tonight will round out the weekend's festivities, so no need to wake up at 5:45 on the East Coast to get ready for a hockey game. No reason for anybody to wake up too early. That means I can sleep in. I'm loving it. So, With everything going on, the Minnesota Timberwolves canceled their game tonight with everything happening within the city, so it's probably best to be on the safe side of everything and keep everybody safe, let everybody get to the airport nice and early to try to get home before the storm. Icing called, so the puck is going to come back down into the Northwood zone. And Northwood bringing it up through neutral ice. Shot wide along the far boards. Battle for the puck. Centered, but nobody there to strike it home for Northwood. Behind the net and out of the zone through neutral ice for Shaddix. And Northwood up through neutral ice across the maroon and gold M over to the far boards. Boy, that was close. That was about as close as you can. If she would have gotten her stick on it, that would have been in the net. But fanned on it was number 7, Megan Holmes, not able to make connection with the puck in the crease. So the score stays 6-0. Courtesy of Shaddix of St. Mary. 9:45 remaining in the final period of play. And wrapped around behind the net. And trying to maintain nice stick raise right there from Northwood. And deflected high and wide. Shot back down deep into the zone one more time by Northwood. Northwood trying to do anything they can to get one in between the pipes. Shaddix dumping it down deep into the Northwood zone for a wholesale line change for St. Mary's. And shot right back in. And back out to neutral, where Shaddix takes control one more time. Fluttered back in. And just wide of the net. Steered clear to the far board. And Northwood unable. St. Pierre doing a nice job being able to make something happen down in the offensive zone. Trying to cycle the puck, trying to get things situated. Nice shot by number 27, Cadence Wright. Blocker pad save made from Shaddix St. Mary. Howling in net. Shaddix clears the zone out through neutral ice. And that blue line gets them every time. Personnel changes. Opens up the ice a little bit for a little bit of time for Northwood. Up through neutral ice is Shaddix. And a shot by Emma Cerruti. Saved. A nice flutter pass. Oh, watch the puck behind you. That was close. 32, Lily Pratt with a shot on goal for Northwood. And puck turned right back around and cleared out to neutral ice once again, where it's picked up by Shaddix of St. Mary. Number 6, Kylie Emikovich. Out to the point. Trying to go all the way in, and a whole traffic jam in front of the net, but the puck stays out from the crease. But it's to the point one more time for Shaddix, down to the far face-off circle. Cross-ice pass through the red dot. and circled back around. Coming in from the blue line, number 17 with one heck of a shot, Mila Advani, and a save from Northwood's goalkeeper. Their fault, Michelle. 6-0, 6:20 remaining in the third period of play. And a shot, courtesy of Emma Hagens, on goal, glove save for Shattuck. Far face-off circle. Face-off won by Northwood. Shot up and over the net to the back glass. And trying to get the puck out of the zone, but keeps overskating the puck is Northwood. Finally shot down in so they can get a line change. Get some fresh legs out for the forward positions. Fan on the pass for Shattuck. And the puck underneath bodies that are on the floor. Like they say, let the bodies hit the floor. That's what we've been watching. Offsides. Shattuck needed to check up, which they did, so play continues. St. Pierre with the puck back down off the backboards. St. Pierre with a shot that was blocked defensively. And they have time, does Northwood, because Shattuck had to check up so they wouldn't be called offsides. A wide angle shot. LeChapiel shoots it wide. Up through neutral ice is Shattuck. Over to number 3. Emma Cerruti puts one on goal with a blocker pad save. And shot right in, number 18, Kendall Dorian. 4 minutes remaining in the final frame of this game. One more game to go for the weekend here. Following this, it is a proposed 8 o'clock start time, which I believe will be on time for the 8 o'clock start due to run time in the third for this game. It's going to put us right where we need to be. Shot on goal from Northwood, and another shot and score. Northwood scores to make the deficit a 5-goal deficit, courtesy of number 13, Kenna Gillis. The clock time is still running. I don't know, I'm not sure if we need to do stop time now, or if once it's at 6 it stays running. That's the way it looks. The ref is talking, but the clock is going to continue to run. So it looks like the rules for this league are once it's 6, it is run time no matter what. But the one looks a heck of a lot better on the scoreboard than a big goose egg. So I'm sure Northwood is happy about that. Face-off brought back down to the SSM zone after an icing is called. 2:30 remaining in this game. Face-off happens in a far face-off circle. Puck is tied up along the far boards. Gathered up nicely from Shattuck. Unable to clear the zone. Northwood now clears it themselves. So they are all still offsides. So it's a free opportunity for Shattuck at St. Mary. due to the miscommunication down on the ice surface. And a nice wraparound opportunity. We tried to get one in. Was number 7, but waved off. Ellie Stewart trying to get one underneath the books with 90 seconds remaining. 6-1 to score. Shattuck St. Mary Prep over Northwood. It's been all Shaddocks this game. And shot wide. Still maintaining the zone, but nice takeaway by number 24 for Northwood, Reese Champensay. One of 2 sisters on the team. Under 1 minute remaining. And fluttered up to clear the zone, which they are able to do, is Shattuck St. Mary. Now just to gain the puck and gain the zone, take the time off, and finish the game strong. Shattuck will be done for the weekend after this game. Both this prep team and the 19 team playing over at Mariucci. Both the teams playing at the same time at the 6 o'clock time slot on Saturday night. And we have 10 seconds remaining in the game time. Puck along the quick trip circle. Oh, that was a heavy hit. And the final score, Shattuck St. Mary Prep 6 and Northwood School from Lake Placid, New York 1. That's going to conclude the 6 o'clock time frame. I've been Jason Hetland on the call. David Smith on the camera. We'll be back with you in just about 20 minutes for the final game of the 2026 Junior Women's Hockey League weekend between the Minnesota Ice Cougars and Team Illinois.